people want the fucking truth. They don't want bullshit. Your listeners, we all have this valuable wisdom and life experience built up, and nobody's using it, man. They're afraid to tell their story. They're afraid to be vulnerable, to be honest. Whereas actually, another quote I remember a guy I follow online said, he says, your mess is your message. And I couldn't agree more, because actually someone's able to relate to you. That is attracting your people. I've seen that firsthand in my own business.
How's it going, guys? I am Ace Guzman, your host with the MMM podcast. And today I have an amazing guest for you guys. I had the opportunity of meeting this gentleman back at the Apex headquarters during one of the Apex live events, shall I say, back in November, I want to say, when I got to meet this wonderful gentleman here. I got to see him speak as well, too. And I just needed to have him, man. I needed to have him on the podcast. I needed to have him come out on here. His name is Derek Rowe. And am I pronouncing that right? Derek Rowe?
That is absolutely bang on. It's better than most people pronounce it.
I love it. And I'll have him introduce himself right now. So, Mr. Rowe, Derek, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. What do you do?
Yeah, so listen, first of all, thank you for having me on, brother. And it was an absolute pleasure to meet you in person. It was in November. I'm losing track of days and months too. So yeah, we met at the end of November. I was traveling. I was in Dallas speaking at that event, and yeah, I had a very nice conversation with you. Very cool guy. So a little bit about me. Well, guys, what I do, I help men mainly change their behaviors. You could call me a master mindset coach and behavioral change expert. That's a long fucking sentence, yeah, to use, but that's exactly. And what do I do? What does that look like? Well, that looks like men can come to me with all types of vices in their way. Like me many years ago, you could look into my life and go, you know what, that man has it all. But actually at the back of it, I had nothing on the inside, because I was consuming drugs, it was drink, it was gambling, it was women, as whatever the vice is that was stopping me from really moving forward. And listen, man, creating, we will say, happier times. I don't believe we can always have a goal of being happy, but we can definitely be happier through the action. So then we just have a program. We have a coaching program, man, designed around the men, not only upgrading their mental well-being, upgrading their physical well-being, then they bring that version of themselves to their family, they bring it to their community, and then they're leading by their actions. So we're all about leading by our actions here, keeping your word to yourself, but also getting into the inner workings of the mind, because yeah, we can move forward by taking more of the right actions, but we have to have an understanding of how the mind works. How was the habit created? So we do a lot of work around that. We do a lot of internal work, but it has to be worked on externally then for it to become a new way of living that is going to produce results. And listen, for me, I've had a lot of experience in fucking up stuff, doing bad shit, doing some good shit, and then going back to doing some bad shit again. So I remember a woman, right? I had a client from America a few years ago. She was my first American client. And we went through the whole process, and she said, I'm going to think about it. And then she just said to me, Derek, what qualifications do you have? And I just said, I have 0 qualifications, but I have a PhD in life experience. And she goes, like it, I'm signing up with you. Because people want the fucking truth. They don't want bullshit. And you see, your listeners, we all have this valuable wisdom and life experience built up, and nobody's using it, man. They're afraid to tell their story. They're afraid to be vulnerable, to be honest. Whereas actually, another quote I remember a guy I follow online said, he says, your mess is your message. And I couldn't agree more, because actually when you're able to relate, someone's able to relate to you, that is attracting your people. And I've seen that firsthand in my own business.
I love that, man. I love that. That's a very good message, and something powerful that, like a purpose, shall I say, right?
Yeah.
purpose of being here and leading man that direction, leading other men into that direction, that essentially out of their vices and into who they really truly are meant to be in this world. You see, yesterday I was just having a conversation with a buddy of mine, and we went to go eat. Right, we were eating nothing healthy. It wasn't good healthy food, but he got a smaller burger than I did. But we were kind of like talking about how, I mean, and this guy, dude, he was fit, bro. Like I saw him, like I met him 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then when I saw him yesterday, this guy was like in shape, bro. I'm like, man, I want to have, that's the type of body I want. And I started going to CrossFit back in October. And then right now, he was actually, last night, he was sending me all these diet plans and whatnot to really, like, start incorporating in my life. And I started realizing that, first and foremost, if we expect our kids to, and the reason I bring that up is because I know during the Apex Live event, you brought up your son
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
your son really has helped you a lot. We have that similarity, dude, because my, shall I say, flip, right? My 180 is when I found out that I was going to be a father. And it wasn't until I went to therapy. Like, I remember thinking, like, man, I really stuck to my promise, right? And I'm not trying to get emotional. I'm going to get chills right now, but I had went to therapy this year back in May because, man, dude, like I was wrestling with my own mind,
Yeah.
right? My mind was becoming my enemy, and it was getting me through this depression. And dude, I wanted to kill myself, bro. I didn't want to be here, but I knew that that wasn't okay. I had to go get help. And when I went to get that, and when I got that help, when I was in therapy, I had a lot of these like epiphanies, or shall I say, these, what do they call them? Like you realize things, right? You come to like a
Yeah.
clarity, a thought of clarity. And it wasn't until I was there, I realized that when I was in fourth grade, I had made a promise to myself. And it was so weird, like, because I was able to go back to my childhood self and really see. I remember the day too. I was in the cafeteria line, and I remember thinking I was never going to be like my dad. I
Yeah.
remember thinking I was going to be better than him, that I was going to be a great father to my kids, that I was going to be, there for them whenever they needed me. And sorry, I don't mean to get emotional, but that was my switch when I found out that I was going to be a dad. I literally, like, I remember I used to smoke a lot of weed. I mean, I was a pothead big time. I remember I got my pipe and I broke it, and I just said, fuck that. Like, I'm going to figure this out. And my kids really amplified my life. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am now. I probably wouldn't have never met you. I would have never gone to Apex. I would have never had this business. I wouldn't have this podcast. But the reality is that, you see, also the fact of the matter is that I expect my kids to be great in their life. Now, if I'm expecting greatness from them, I also got to be great. I also got to be this person that they got to look up to. I got to lead by action, like what you were saying. And talking to my friend yesterday, when I was talking to him, he was kind of letting me know, it seems like you've mastered the mind, he was telling me, but you haven't mastered the physical body yet. And I'm just like, dang, dude, like it was just like one of those moments, like one of those hard pills to swallow. And it's like, it's true.
It's
Like,
the
I'm
fucking
still eating a
truth.
bunch of
Exactly.
shit. I'm still eating a bunch of sugary, things. And like, he saw me throwing out these Little Debbie's Christmas cakes that they have here. Oh man, I love them, bro, especially during the holidays. But they're not good for you. However, I would assume that's what you also help men in doing, right?
Yeah, like, listening to your story, I wasn't too far behind your brother. Years ago, I did not want to live. I didn't want to live. Like, I did quite a few podcasts actually recently. I delved in a little bit, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of men. You see, men's roles are tough. They just are, because men are meant to be men. And of course, man, we have different qualities, just like ladies have different qualities. And a lot of ladies now are stronger than men. Men are actually gone from being the strongest to being some of the fucking weakest individuals. Yeah. There's no right or wrong with what I'm saying,
Yep.
because it's my responsibility. A big part of my responsibility is to fucking be the mirror. So it's holding the mirror up. I don't do it I do it to get a reaction, but I want the positive reaction. Meaning, if I live my truth, a lot of men aren't, they're going around like you were years ago, fucking have all this mad negativity in their head, and then that's leading to the vice. And it doesn't have to be drugs, it can be the food. For a lot of people, food is the biggest vice, it's the biggest drug. And they're just like fucking consuming and consuming and consuming, and with the alcohol, and with the drugs, and with all this negative fucking behavior that goes with all of that. And then men have this guilt and shame within them, and they're fucking hell, they can't even look at themselves in the mirror. And this was me. Like, I had
Dang.
everything. Listen, I was a drug dealer for a large part of my life. And I sort of touched on it at the talk that you came to see me talking at. But if you looked into my life, like a lot of men now that even I work with, you would think, Jesus Christ, they have it together. Look, but like money means nothing. It's not equal. It's not necessary equals to happiness. Does money help? Money helps when you were in a good mental and physical shape. Yes. But it took me, even after that, I went to a lot of therapy. None of it ever worked for me till I met somebody who showed me what I know now. And obviously investing in coaches and mentors then since for the last number of years, 5 or 6 years, to know what I know and to be able to apply it properly. But most of it is about life experience, because people want to see someone else doing it. They want to go, well, listen, I've carved a path here for other mainly men to walk, but it's not for everyone, because the truth has to be told. I call this present state, meaning if you can't give yourself a full, honest review right now, it's like you said, right? Here I am. I'm not happy with how I look. What are you going to do about it? What has to happen for you to go from point A to point fucking C? Whereas actually you can look back and go, do you know what? I've done it now. I am that man right now. And that's the transformation, because like you said, you have the mental. Physical is important as well. It's bringing it, because we have kids. What do kids do? We bring up, it is leading by our actions. We can talk, but a lot of men are talking now, and their kids are looking at them going, but you're completely out of fucking shape and you're not even doing what you're telling me to do. So why would the child do it? It makes fucking no sense. Whereas instead of saying, just do, that energy transfers and transcends onto the individuals who we care about most. Because why do we do it? We do it for ourselves. Because if we're not at our best, whatever that is for a specific individual, like my absolute best is different from someone else's. But like whatever that absolute best is, and then you bring that to your fathership skills. You bring that to you if you have a partner. And then you can bring it to your wider community and show other people. That's just leading, because as far as I can see, there's not much leadership happening in the world, because there's a lot of men going down a dark road. They feel like there's no way out. Behind closed doors, they have tears in their eyes. I know this to be true, because that was me. I used to be, someone asked me, how are you? Oh, I'm good. And in Ireland, we say grand, which means we're good. We're grand. We're grand. That's all I said. On the inside, man, I was fighting back tears continuously. When the door shut, I would cry. It was fucked up shit, like, because I hadn't cried for many years up to my late 20s. And you see, you're right, whatever we all go through when we're young, we all go through something that's molded us into who we are then in our adolescence and in our 20s, 30s, and so on and so on. But like, there has to come a time when we have to look at that, because too many people are being dishonest with themselves. They don't mean to be, but they're just papering over the cracks. They keep papering over these fucking cracks. Whereas at some stage you have to go, right, this is where I am. This is honestly, it's not good. But you know what? We can fix that now. We can't fix it. If you can't be the truth with yourself, there's no way of fixing it. And then there is no way of moving forward. And it is sad, because a lot of men are stuck in this vicious cycle of fucking negativity. And you see, it's never the food. The problem isn't the food or the drugs. That's just a nearly like an escape route, a tunnel to remove themselves out of having to face the truth. Because you understand with these emotions and how we think and how we talk to ourselves, what's going on. And it's just go, oh, geez, no, let's leave that. And yeah, let's smoke a joint. Let's do a line. Let's have a drink. Easy do that. A lot of men doing it, a lot of women doing it as well. Not so easy to face facts and then actually ask yourself the question, right? What has to happen here for me to move from just A to B? Then we can go from B to C and so on and so on.
Yeah, dude. And I think the majority of people do that as a way of escaping really what it is. It's an escape of reality, but as well too, it's your mind becoming your enemy. It's the conventional wisdom, it's the subconscious thinking, it's your conditioned mindset. And I talk a lot about this as well too, because a lot of what I've been through really does stem obviously from having to overcome that conditioned mindset, having to overcome that, because there's that mental blockage and everybody has it. Everybody's going to feel it one way or another. They're going to plateau eventually in their life. They're going to eventually get to that point. And like you said, the person in the mirror, are you happy with who you see? Are you happy with who you're essentially are? Are you looking in the mirror, and the moment that you look at, because it used to happen to me, and the reason why I'm able to talk about it this way is because it used to be me. You look in the mirror and you look down automatically because like you're ashamed.
Yeah.
You know, like that used to happen to me, bro. Like I remember I used to look in the mirror and I would look down. I used to be ashamed.
Yeah, sad.
Shoot, but like now it's like, look at you, sexy motherfucker. Look at you. Like, I look at myself now like that, like I need to get a haircut, but shit, I still look good. Or I'll look at myself like, yeah, we need lose a bit of weight, but you know what? You still look fine, man. You still look fine. You haven't. However, and I had actually also talked to another gentleman a while back, and he was telling me about, talking in the mirror to yourself. And you can really talk to yourself in the mirror, dude, and you will literally start giving yourself answers to questions that you have. And the reality is that it's you talking to yourself, but it's not really you talking to yourself. It's this up here talking to you. It's like, wow, like when you really see it like that, there's the body and then there's the astral body. And then that astral body is the one that's actually projecting all these answers. And if you just let it, like, if you're able to really focus on yourself at the mirror and talk to yourself, ask yourself questions, and then wait for yourself to respond, you will get the answers. And a lot of the time, people know exactly what to do. See, the thing is, people know exactly what they need to do, man, to overcome their vices, to, make 6 figures, to make 7 figures, to be a good leader. Majority of the time, people know what to do. And if they don't, well, you know what? Go look for a coach, go look for a mentor, read a book, look at some podcasts. People on YouTube are doing it all day, every day. Help, do something. But at the end of the day, mostly people know what to do already intellectually, or like with their intuition in a sense, but they don't follow it. They don't follow it. Like, it's, I don't know, like going back to talking about the mind, right? I think I was telling you about this one story, dude. And this story that I was telling you about was the vision that I had while I was doing life coaching. And dude, it was so weird. It was like freaking weird, bro. Like, I remember this meditation that we did. It was like a guided meditation, because I know you were doing guided meditations too, bro, and I love them. I love guided meditations, bro. And this guided meditation was essentially, I forget what the name of the meditation was, but essentially it started off like, I want you to imagine yourself in a room, right? Or like in a place, in an area, and you're gonna go to a door, you're walking towards a door, and then you open the door. What do you see? Is it all dark? Is it this? Is it that? And when I remember, like, I had opened the door and it was dark, and then I could hear something talking in there, dude. It was real weird. I could hear something talking. It was like I could hear it talking, but like in the visual, it was weird to explain. And it was pissed off. It was like, you deserve it. You deserve everything. You deserve everything that you want in your life. I'm mad. I'm upset because you haven't like gotten what you deserve, and you deserve it. Like, it was pissed, dude. It was pissed. And the meditation, you had to like light the room, right? Like light it and tell it like, hey, I'm here now. Don't worry, right? Boom. And I lighted the room, and then it turned all white. And then I remember it was like this blue dragon, dude. It was like blue, orange, yellow hue, just like doing this like whole like weird majestic thing. And then it kind of like wrapped itself around me, and then like it kind of like gave me like a little forehead kiss like that. And I remember that was the end of the guided meditation, dude. And I don't even know how the hell I got into that point. And I was just like, dude, I was feeling like goosebumps all around when it had touched me right here too. I was just like, whoa, what the heck was that? Well, that's the subconscious, man. That is what guides us every day. We don't know that we are being guided. We're essentially being guided to our doom, essentially, because it's our subconscious.
Yeah.
And that's literally what manifests itself into reality. One saying that I got this from Brad Lee, because I watch a lot of Brad Lee's podcasts, and he goes, your frequency is what you frequently see. And it's 100% true. So when you're at a low frequency, you're literally around other people, or you're going to attract other people who are at that low frequency as well too. Like what you were saying, the guilt, the shame, all that stuff, that's the power of force, I think it's what it's called. And you're at that low frequency, dude, and you're right there. Now it's essentially overcoming that subconscious, overcoming that mind, overcoming that enemy. Don't let your mind become your enemy, and really now vibrating at the higher level. Because when you vibrate at a higher level, now you start surround yourself with other people in the higher level,
100%.
like going to the event in Apex Live, or going to other events like that, and really, having people come out in a podcast like this, or essentially it's just It's just an example. But
Yeah.
really getting around that is what helps you get into that higher frequency. And the higher frequency, the more opportunities you're able to see, the more availabilities, the more things you're able to see that come your way. Because the reality is opportunities are everywhere. But when you're at a low frequency, you're not catching those opportunities. But when you're at a high frequency, you're like, okay, now I'm catching them. But see, when I go at a low frequency, because I'll wake up at a low frequency, I ain't gonna fucking lie. I'll wake up.
100%.
I don't want to fucking do shit. I don't want to get up off my bed.
I
I don't
agree.
want to. I want to stay asleep. Nobody has to come and tell me anything because realistically, right? I'm my own boss. I'm an entrepreneur. Nobody has to tell me shit. Like, but you know what? I tell myself, no, we don't do this. This is what we do now. We get up, we fix our bed, we clean up the room, we take a shower, we go downstairs, we have a cup of coffee. Let's relax. Or I'll start like freaking out, like, oh man, I need to, find another client, or I need to do this for a client, or I need to do that. Like the mind's already going there racing. It's like, calm down. We got a team. We can delegate shit. And then after that, whatever reason, like, sometimes with me, it's cash flow because it's like, fuck, dude, I need to help somebody. I need to find somebody else to help because if I don't, I'm probably not going to make it this month. And then I go, well, dude, like, let's calm down. First and foremost, we have the strategies on how we can grow organically. Like, we're going to make it. We're going to be okay. And it's really calming myself and letting myself and seeing it at a different perspective. Really
Absolutely.
starting to understand, okay, what led to this? What led to my low frequency? Okay, what thought was it that led to that low frequency? Okay, it was this thought. Okay, fuck you. I don't want to think like this anymore. Okay, now what other perspective can I see aside from this thought? Because this thought just got me down. But this, going back to this thought, how can I think now at a higher frequency? What other perspective can I see?
Well, you see, low-level activities produce low-level results. High-level
Yes.
activities produce high-level results, and that's frequency. Like, but you talked about the subconscious, you see. People will say, okay, now you're coming to the New Year's, all this fucking bullshit about New Year's resolutions and stuff. And like the same people who are out partying are the people who achieve nothing, right? So they go partying after a year and then they'll make these big, huge claims and these big, huge statements of what they're going to do in 2025. Well, they've already started off shit because you're waking up with a hangover. So you're out of action for about a day or two at least with that. So that's not a good start. And you see, they're not very intentional. Now, their intentions are correct and they mean what they say at the time, whether on drink or whether sober, it doesn't matter. They mean it. But why don't they do it? Because you see, why do people only go to the gym for a couple of months and then go back? Why do people do well in any craft or profession for a couple of months and go back? Because they're only changing their behavior. Whereas if we're talking about habits and we're talking about subconscious is just a program that runs. It's programmed
Yes.
off what you've done.
There you
So
go.
based on evidence. So now if I'm here and I'm somebody who's drinking too much, taking too much cocaine, but I continue doing it, it's going to build a habit. Then that habit is going to be automatic. And it's then, unless people can understand the inner workings of that, you're fucked because we can change the behavior, but that's temporary by using discipline. And we can be very focused. And Jesus Christ, life is going great. Then 3 months later, oh, the thought will come in, whatever that is, whatever that negative thought is. Oh, it's a good idea. I can have a drink now. And then once you have that drink, then you're all of a sudden you're 10 steps back again. Then you're 2 months out of the gym or whatever it is, and you're fucking back to square one. This is what you see people doing. It's just a continuous yo-yo cycle. I was like that for most of my life. I always had money because I sold drugs and stuff, but I never had enough. In my mind, I never had enough because I always wanted more. It was just pure fucking greed. But that was the vice because I couldn't face reality. So I had to, that was what I was involved in. And it's fucking sad, but it's sad then the consequences on the mind. And people don't see this. They don't see even the control of what's happening in the world, all, the bullshit that goes on behind the scenes and how people are manipulated into doing this and doing that. Whereas the reality, it's going to take hard work. It's going to take, cutting through a lot of shit, man, in front of you to actually feel okay. And I've said this, it's going to take a good solid year, man, of somebody showing up. We're not without perfection. We're not looking to be perfect, but we're looking to take, more of those right actions, which are going to lead to better quality results. And the way I look at it is if people can do that for a year, they've then actually changed the habit, which is run by your subconscious, like what you said. So when we change the habit, it changes the subconscious. And now this is the new pattern we run, and it's actually producing results. But like, none of this comes without fucking error or failures. And I think A lot of people live in a fantasy world where they go, "Oh yeah, my life, you know, I just want to be happy." What is that? That's not a goal. I want more money. No, we need to be clear, have full clarity. This is where I'm going, and we can say it's like one of the methods I brought you through in the Dream Machine, to actually see the final destination. Who are you with? Where are you? You know, could have been in your new house, could have been on your favorite holiday, whatever, and you see that when you talk about frequency, it's what you said it, what you see frequently. That's what your movie is made up. That's what your life is. So what people are doing today, be it good, be it bad, they're going to be doing the exact same in 5 years. They're going to be doing the exact same in 10 years, unless they make a definite decision to go. Especially, well, if your life's going good, you leave it. But anyone that's not, their life's not going good, they have to do the work. You know, they have to understand what we're talking about here. But also, a lot of people think, oh, mine's I can just do a little bit. Well, you still have to roll your sleeves up in the outside world, in reality, and get shit done. There's no, just because like you could sit down and manifest all day, it will absolutely not work.
You're right, dude. There's people that think like that. Man, like, oh, it's ridiculous. I know some people, and I know some people personally, shall I say. I'm not going to say any names, but it's like, okay, oh, well, I want to have my own place. And like you, I at least want to be in my own apartment. And, you know, I want to pay my own bills. And I want, like, this is what I want, right? Like, that's cool. That's great. You know, you're getting descriptive. But in order for you to make a change in your life, it's, in a sense, in order for you to see a change, you got to make a change. Something has to die. Something has to change. Something needs to go away. And in most cases, it's the discipline area. It's the discipline. It's the showing up. It's the doing the work. It's the action. And people, I don't know what it is, man. Like, some people just have that resistance with that, dude. And it's just like, shit, dude. Like, you can't do that for people. And then most people, they just expect, oh, okay, well, if I just sit down and if I say my manifestation, or if I write something down 3 times on a piece of paper, you know, whatever the case may be. I'm big in manifestation. I understand the law of attraction, but the law of attraction needs you to put action. It needs you to move. It needs you to go out there and find people. It needs you to go out there and, you know, act upon your idea. It needs you to do that. That's what it needs you to do. Now, you can also state it as confirmation bias in the sense where, you know, okay, so for instance, I like to use this one a lot. This one's the one how I correlate with how manifestation and law of attraction kind of works. If I were to tell you how many red cars did you see today, I don't know where to give the credit on this one, but I've heard it somewhere. If I were to tell you how many red cars did you see today, you won't know. But if I were to go, okay, from here on forward, I want you to count how many red cars you see. You're going to see a bunch of fucking red cars now. You're going to start seeing them pop up. I was literally this weekend at Starbucks with a buddy of mine. He's in the skateboarding industry, and he's like giving me all these great ideas that he wants to do. I'm like, awesome, dude. Like, you know, we're planning for the year coming up. And I tell him this, you know, about the red cars. And he goes, shit, dude, as soon as you said that, I started seeing all the fucking red cars pop up. And I'm like, well, that's the way our mind works with opportunity. That's the way our mind works with frequency. That's the way our mind works with attraction, the law of attraction. That's the way our mind works with manifestation. That's the exact same way it works. You just got to be willing to see things at a different perspective and put in the fucking work and get it done. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't feel bad for yourself. You're allowed to feel sorry for yourself maybe a day max if you want to feel bad, if you want to just like whatever, or maybe an hour. Well, I don't know what you would recommend, but I usually say, okay, you're allowed to feel this way for like right now, but come tomorrow, the moment that you wake up, you're not allowed to feel that way anymore. Figure out something to fucking get that shit done. Like, and the reality is people make excuses. This is why I wear this shirt every fucking day, bro. You know what this stands for?
Fuck your excuses.
Exactly. Bro, exactly, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, I bought this hoodie at that event in Apex Live.
Yeah, the Apex, yeah.
And ever since, dude, I haven't taken it off. I washed it only once, but like, I don't want to wash it too much because there's something in there. I can feel like the fucking, every time I wear this shit, like there's some energy in here, bro. It was probably because Derek Rowe was in the building when I bought this. But essentially, you know, people make excuses and it sounds so fucking beautiful to them, right? These excuses sound so valid. These excuses sound so, you know, I can't do this because of that. And then it's like, now their ego takes over and they relax, or they're not putting the action, but yet they're still dreaming, but then their excuses hold them back. You see,
Yeah.
the reality is that people don't understand discipline, and it's sad, man. It's sad that they can't put in that action. What's it gonna take? An hour or two, maybe, to get the fucking job done. Really,
Yeah.
really. Like, in most cases, it's probably gonna take you less time than that. But in a sense of whatever little task you need to do. I'm not saying like the whole big task, but it's the little things that you got to work on. Like, I think you were saying that right now, the A to B, right? Moving A to B. That's it. Like, okay, make a fucking list of what you want to accomplish. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 3 years? And where do you want to be in one? Fucking perfect. Okay, now fucking get into detail. How do you want to look? Right? Ryan Stewman has the meditation. I'm telling you, bro, like I fucking told Ryan himself too when I was there. I go, dude, every morning for about a month and a half, I was listening to that fucking guided meditation that he has. Every fucking morning, bro, I was doing it. I didn't give a fuck where I was. As soon as I got behind this computer, I was like, wait, I need to do the meditation. Wait, I need to go do this. And I would stand in my kitchen, or I would stand right here, and it was giving me that clarity, that vision of who I want to see myself become. And that's what people need to be clear with. Who the fuck do they see themselves becoming? Do they see themselves, like in this, I quote Ryan Stewman's vision, right? Do you see yourself more muscular? Do you see yourself with calves? Do you see yourself with a nice physical body? With who's attracted to this person? What kind of clothing do you see yourself wearing? Right? What kind of car do you drive? Shit like that. Like really getting descriptive like that. And then now putting towards the action behind all that. But anyways, man, I forgot where the fuck I was going with all this shit. I got a little bit excited, but
No. We're flowing in the right direction, but you were talking about the red cars, right? That's focus. It's the power of focus. Like focus is a skill, discipline is a skill. This is what we teach in the program as well. It's like, no, fucking, this is shit we're not born with, man. And you know, discipline is really equals to doing the shit we don't want to do on repeat. But like you said about red cars, like if you could buy a red car today. You could go and buy a red car today and you could think, right, there's nobody in my area has this specific red car. Let's just call it a BMW or a Mercedes. Guaranteed, you'll see someone in your area driving the same car. It's just we weren't focused on it. And you see, people go on about clarity and this and that. Like, if you cannot tell me what you want in 5 years, you're fucked anyway. It's not a discipline problem there. It's an actual focus problem and being clear. Yeah, this is the destination. It's like I said, give yourself the honest review. Now, what destination? Now, you brought up a point and you said people know too much. This is the problem. And why do they employ a coach or a mentor to fucking simplify it? People need to be accountable, held accountable. They have to have self-accountability and to take personal responsibility for everything that happens. Yeah. Now, how long can someone do for? Don't know, but if you can do it for a year, you're on the right track. If you can do it for 5 years, you're fucking made. I can pretty much guarantee all of this, what I'm saying right now. Most people cannot do it even for 5 months. Some can't even do it for 2 weeks before they break because it's not clear. It's too easily swayed to, oh, I feel a little bit lonely now because you see, we're going to go through that loneliness and self-doubt. If you want to take on any personal transformation, you said it, you have to break away from the bullshit first. So the bullshit has to go. So you're going to be left lonely. You're going to be left in self-doubt. Fuck. Am I doing the right thing here? Because where's the comfort? Like for me back in the day, man, the comfort was in going out taking drugs with friends and fucking women. And that was my comfort. It didn't lead to any results. But when I broke away from that, you feel shit. I don't really have anyone. Or what is going on? There's a lot of questions. Then the next step to that is when you get through that is, oh, fuck, actually now I'm beginning to feel a hell of a lot better. I'm beginning to look a hell of a lot better. I'm fucking getting results. Then now we're too busy stacking wins. But this, you see, this takes time and no one wants the truth. No one wants to hear, oh, and I'll give you an example of this, right? Someone goes in for a 12-week body transformation. I used to own a gym, so this used to happen, right? So you'd come in, you get fucking in serious shape, and then I'd go, are you staying? And 7 out of 10 times people go, do you know what? I'm going to take a week or two off and I'm going to be back. So at the time, I didn't know what I know now. So I said, Grant, I'd never see them. But then sometime in the future, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 months later, I'd see them on the street. And they'd nearly be embarrassed. They'd nearly avoid me. And actually what I realized was they fucking went back to square one. They put everything back on again. Now, this is coming down to the programming. At the time, what were they doing? Yeah, they were using discipline, and yeah, they were following a plan. But they didn't change any of the fucking internal wiring or internal habits. So the minute that 12-week timeline came, I'm taking a week off. And then it was, oh yeah, sure, I can eat that meal, I can eat that meal, and straight back to where they were. This is why I say 12 weeks. 6 months isn't even long enough. People need to commit first to a year, have a 5-year plan, commit to a fucking year. 99 out of 100 times they will not look back if they're fucking show up at least 80% of that time. Most people will not, cannot, because of what you said. They make fucking excuses like little girls in a playground and little boys making excuses not to do something. That's how grown people are. I'm only wanting to fucking work with people who are serious about manning up, stepping up, because there's not many of them. If you ask me, there's a lot of weak fucking men going around, and a lot of weak women too, man, because it's not only the men that are acting this way and behaving this way, but unless they understand what we've discussed here today, there's no fucking hope for them, because they want to give something really small, their effort, their energy, their time, but expect a huge return on investment in 3 months. That's not how this shit works. But this is what some internet people say. So they go, oh, this must be true. No, man. Anyone that does well quickly, right? There's two ways. Can you get very fucking wealthy quickly online? Yes. But how high is the percentage? Fucking minute. It's like winning the lotto. So you will see billions of people online. Yes, there probably is a handful of people within 3 months made 1 million plus. The rest of us, that would be like me and you buying a ticket and fucking winning the lotto now. It's a likelihood it's not going to happen. For the rest of us, and this is what I teach people, and I have a lot of business guys in my program, just put your head down for 12 months. Just do take personal responsibility, personal excellence as best you can. And you will not look back, and they don't ever look back. Why? Because why would you want to go back to the old life now? You're after giving a year, you feel good, you fucking look good, you're more wealthier financially, spiritually, family, every way you are wealthier. But it's again, how many people can do that long term?
Not that many, man.
Fuck
Not
all,
that
man.
many. Dude, you literally said something right now, man. Whew, it got me thinking, dude. Man, I really like this conversation. But so there's this parable, right? Or about an eagle. I don't know if you heard about it.
Yes,
Um,
pretty sure now, but I
yeah,
want to hear it again.
there's like a certain period of an eagle's life where, you know, it starts to shed its feathers and essentially, right, it's getting to a point where it needs to, I guess, you know, go into to a breakthrough moment because it's already reaching a level of life. I don't
Yeah,
know how to say it, but they'll go into a cave, or they'll go into this place, like I think it's a cave that they go into. They start shedding all their feathers and they break their beak. Literally, like they'll start breaking their beak because their beak becomes really dull at that point, and they'll go through all this pain and suffering. But after they overcome that, they come back with like new feathers, freaking looking majestic as fuck, a nice beak, you know, sharper than ever. And it's like, well, they had to essentially go through that lonely period, what you were talking about. You see, I went through the same thing without knowing that I went through the same thing, dude. It's weird that you say that because I went through that. And I had my moments where I had to cut off people. Like, I knew people, they weren't good for me. Like, I just knew being around them, being next to them, taking their phone calls, answering their text messages, or just fucking going to a party or whatever, I knew it wasn't good for me because it's like I'm trying to do something different now in my life. And what you're doing is not beneficial for me, nor is it beneficial for you, but it's not beneficial for me. And you know what? I love myself too much to the point to where I want to go back to that, or where I even want to fucking, you know, do all that crap. And yeah, dude, it's a lonely path, bro. It's a lonely path. You start going through all these moments. People start making you feel guilty for going through all that, for fucking cutting them off, or whatever the case may be. They'll start making you feel like shit. But the reality is that if you really, really, truly love yourself and you really want to become that better person, or essentially the elite version of who you are, you got to go through all that pain and suffering. But the thing is that what's on the other side, what is waiting for you on the other side, is
yeah,
fucking amazing. It's greatness. It's other people who have gone through that shit. It's fucking, you know, meeting people who are fucking at a higher frequency, people who are doing things at a higher frequency, people who are now like you can hang out with people. Because a lot of people go, well, yeah, like I get it. Like, you know, we are the five most people we hang around with, but who can I find to hang around with and blah 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 blah. And like, you know, I can't find another millionaire to hang around with. Like, for instance, like if you're hanging around with four millionaires, you know, you become the fifth one, and there'll be people saying, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say I don't know anybody. It's like, well, first you got to cut off all the fucking bullshit. You got to cut off all the fucking friends that essentially are like a dead limb, not going anywhere. Say, hey guys, you know what? I'm going somewhere. I know exactly where I want to go. You guys can come if you want to, but you got to be fucking you got to put the action what I'm doing as well. And I think Snoop Dogg's the one that says it. Actually, he's the one that said it, Snoop Dogg. And it's not a good analogy speaking about weed because I know I was just talking about smoking weed, but he talks about a level, right? Like where you start off. And he goes, in life, you start going up, and the same people that you started off with are going to stay right here, and you're going up here. But he goes, the thing is, you can't associate yourself with the people down here because the moment that you do, then you go back. But he goes, but I love myself too much not to do that, so I stay up here. The reality is that they got to come up with me.
Yeah, this is it. Lead by your actions.
Exactly.
Will follow.
Exactly. But the excuses, man, I don't know what it is with people and their excuses, man. I just don't know what it is, but it's tough. And I know a lot of the times it's hard to really, really overcome that. And a lot of it, man, you know, if you stick with your excuses or you stick there, it's an ugly ball, dude. It's an ugly ball. An ugly ball of energy, shall I say. But there's this other parable, right, that I like to use. And it's also in correlation to the Buffalo one, but I'll talk about the movie that I saw because when I was going through this with my life coach, dude, I was like, obviously, right, like confirmation bias. I was starting to see everything as a sign, right? And there's this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, right? I don't know if you've seen it, but
Not
it's
saying I know the film.
yeah, it's a good film, but there's this movie scene in it, you know, like theoretical arts. I would say like the scene itself is powerful because it really correlated to what I was going through. And there's this scene where Gamora is telling them, "No, what, are you crazy? Let's not go back there. We're gonna die. Let's go to the ship. Let's leave because we gotta run away. We gotta leave because if we go back there, we're gonna." You know, it's suicide or whatever. And Rocket, well, because the story is about that part two is about him, or is it three? I forget which movie it is. I don't know. I'm not really good with movies, but there's that scene where he goes, he looks back at the door. He's like, I'm done running. He's like, I'm fucking done running. And he gets his gun. And in that, there's the Beastie Boys song "No Sleep Till Brooklyn" that starts playing in the background, and he just starts walking towards the door, and then everybody just turns around and walks towards the danger, walks towards that fire with him, like they're walking towards that storm with him, and they're like, "Damn, dude, that's oh!" Every time I see that scene, bro, I have it recorded on my phone too, because when I have to see it, bro, I have to see it too. Help me. And essentially, that's the same story with the buffaloes, the same thing, right? The buffalo, they walk towards the storm, they don't walk away from it. Because if they walk towards the storm, the storm's gonna pass them by.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the loneliness. That's the same thing with the depression of changing your lifestyle, right? Putting in that discipline, going through that transitionary period. Yeah, dude, you're going to go through all that. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel like, is this right for you? You're going to have all this guilt or shame or fucking whatever it is. But if you're able to overcome that, man, there's greatness on the other side.
Yeah, if you're able to overcome it, but it's not for everybody. This is it. People have in their minds, it's not that difficult to imagine where you want to be, but it's then the work, and it's the work a lot of the time at the start without any fucking return. You see, that's what has to be handled. That's what has to be. That's the truth. You could do a lot of work and get zero return for a year. Would you be still willing to continue going? That's the question I would ask myself. That's the question I would ask anybody. You know, are you really fucking willing? Are you really able? And are you really committed? Because it's going to take a lot of skills. It's not only discipline and focus. It's going to take determination, perseverance. There's a lot it fucking requires. And then business, business can go like that, then it can go like that, then it can go like that. Now, it's continuously moving up if you look at it from a year, but these motherfuckers are continuously wanting to look at it at every month. And if they have a couple of bad months, they think the world is falling apart. I've been there, so I get it. I've experienced it. But overall, over the course of a year, the business will go up if you do the right things. But it's the individual, it's the fucking man, the woman that has to take the responsibility to do it. And if okay, can we go sideways? Yes, we can get off track. There's no one perfect, and I'm not teaching perfection either. But how quickly can we get back on? Like you said, after a day, can you get back on after a day and just get back to it? Even if you fucking don't want to, you grit your teeth through it. Because we know where the best feelings that these people claim they want come from the hard shit. They come from the uncomfortable stuff. You know, many times did you want to go to the gym and you went and you go, Jesus, man, I am happy I went to the gym. I feel so good now.
Dude, straight
The
up.
renewed energy. You see, it is all about energy as well. Okay, it comes down to, I think, the two main things is how we think and how we talk to ourselves. So it's what are the fuck are we playing in our minds? What are we talking to ourselves in our minds? Because they both attach a feeling. So it's either going to be a low frequency, like we've discussed, or it's going to be a high frequency. That's cause and effect at the end of the day. It's another thing I teach in the program, because we have to understand the effect takes place out here. The cause is always in here. So why are we looking out here to fucking change? We got to go in and do it. It's an inside job. Then we go, okay, it's actually pretty simple then on the outside. We just show up and do the same things. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous. We just continue rinsing and repeating on that over and over till a bit of momentum then is built, a little bit of that energy to help, push you through, force you through here and there. Then do it for a year plus. I'll guarantee anyone's results who do that. But listen, it's very easy to say this. Fucking amount of men I've had. Yeah, I'm all in. 2 months later, they're fucking all out. Yeah, they're not able for it. They're just not able for it. They're not able to cope and deal with the specific feelings. But this is where we have to be able to go in and change it. Because you brought it up and I want to bring it back because I like it. It's the frequency, right? So our frequency depends on what we see frequently. Yeah. So this comes down to what I said, the images in our mind, the movies we play, the sounds we play ourselves, which is generally our self-talk. So why don't we actually work on enhancing that? Do we really have to think about all the bad shit? Or can we actually think about something that's factual, that's good in our lives now? Now, that's a bit of gratitude. But if we
Perspective.
actually play that movie, we go, okay, actually, I'm not feeling too bad. Fuck, I can go to the gym, shit. I can send those emails now. Okay, let's go. Are we going to live like happy clappy all day? No, we're not, man. I have to grit my teeth at least half the week to get stuff done. So, and that's another truth people need to realize. I feel when you're online, people see the best of us and they go, oh, fucking, that's luck or that's easy. Whereas, no, the reality is none of it is fucking easy, motherfucker. You're just choosing the easy way, and it's easier to look at someone like me and say that bullshit in the first place. So, yeah, like people just need to wake up, man, before it's too late, because where do you go at 60, 70 years of age? Now, I don't think 60 is too late. I have a guy in my program 63. 70 probably is too late at 70. Where do you go then? You've nowhere to go. You have a fucking 30 years of regret at least at that stage. Fuck that, man. I didn't sign up for that. I already had enough of that. But you understand, when I was 20s, 30s, I was there, what am I doing? What am I doing? Fucking, I regretted actions I did, behaviors I had. But actually now I look at it and I go, I had to experience this. I wouldn't be in the position I am in today if I didn't experience that. So that was made for me. My life was made for me and it built me for what I do now. You see, why can't we look at things like that? It's like it comes down to the saying, oh, why does this always happen to me? This type of bullshit. Well, no, is it not happening for you to fucking make you look at the problem to find a solution? We can extract what we want out of life. We can extract.
Dude, that used to be me like that, man. Straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Oh
Most people.
man, like feeling really sorry for myself, right? And it really wasn't until really a couple of months ago, it's like, nah, like it's not happening to me. It's happening for me. It's happening for me. It's happening. I got to go through all this because sometime in the future, the life that I want, the life that I see myself having, sometime in the future, I'm going to have this problem and it's going to be multiplied times 10 probably because I'm going to have a higher life. I know I'm going to have a more higher life, but this little problem is not going to matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now. because at that time I'm going to have a bigger problem to solve. And this little problem is just getting me ready for that bigger problem.
Love it.
Then that's exactly what how people need to see it. But anyways, man, we're coming towards the end here real quick. Before we get off, brother man, how can people find you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, Instagram, it's D-Row Method. Facebook, it's Derek Rowe. So you might put the links to go with this.
Yes.
Yeah, just I post content daily, so I don't miss a day. And listen, it is about stepping up. Whoever's listening to this, take our words and use them to. I always want to use words to get a reaction, but I want the positive reaction. For everybody, some people just get completely triggered when they hear the truth. And it's like, fuck you, you're judging people. I don't judge anyone. My words, I want to be powerful enough to cause a reaction. And I want that reaction then to be their reaction to be a positive one, to go, fuck, I need to look at myself. I just want to be the mirror. That's as simple as that. Here's the fucking truth. Take it, please. Go do something with it. Too many people at nothing. Too many kids looking at men at nothing. And especially for any fathers listening, because we're fathers. I'm not here. I'm not the perfect father. I make mistakes, but I can be truthful and say, fuck it. Let's find a solution to it. Solution focus. That's where we're at. And don't be a pussy is what I want to say as well.
I love it. Yeah, man. And that's at the end of the day, we got to be a better example and lead by action, like you say. And if we expect our kids to if we expect to leave a good legacy, then we got to be the legacy that they see. Oh, Derek, it was nice having you here, brother, man.
Pleasure.
You take care. God bless. If you ever need anything, brother, you're more than welcome to message me. And like always, brother, man, take care, all right?
See you soon.
Yes, sir.